What happens when the leaders of a tech giant can't understand the tech they're supposed to oversee? Their technology leaders can't code, and executives can't execute. This is Boeing's reality today. The aerospace giant's failure was exposed to the world when its spacecraft couldn't safely transport astronauts to and from the ISS. What a fall from grace for a company that once stood tall at the forefront of America's aerospace revolution. But how did things go so terribly wrong? Elon Musk recently shed light on why the Starliner project and Boeing as a whole has faltered ultimately. Discover more in today's episode. After the two crashes of the 737 MAX jetliners that killed 346 people, the tension between Boeing and the US Justice Department has reached its climax. Boeing is set to plead guilty, given that it's violated the agreement that protected it from prosecution for more than 3 years. Either they pay a fine as part of their sentence or face trial on the felony criminal charge against them. Even the January crisis mode, when a 737 MAX flown by Alaska Airlines was forced to make an emergency landing after a door plug blew out mid-flight, has triggered a new wave of scrutiny over Boeing's manufacturing and safety practices. At the same time, the Boeing Starliner spaceship has been stuck on the space station for almost a month, and no one knows when it's coming back. Things even got worse as more mistakes and the discovery of several helium leaks affecting its thruster system continued to emerge. The problems with Boeing's aircraft lines and spacecraft are things the company's engineers could have seen coming, given their expertise. Boeing is falling behind because it doesn't focus enough on safety practices and transparency. Its poor leadership, toxic work culture, and chasing profit rather than delivering quality have led to the stuck spacecraft and other troubles. Even Elon Musk, the SpaceX CEO, took potshots at Boeing, accusing Boeing CEO David Calhoun of being a clueless executive lacking the necessary expertise. Musk remarked that the CEO of an aircraft company should be adept at designing aircraft, not just managing spreadsheets. Meanwhile, this is not the first time Mr. Musk has criticized Boeing for losing sight of its engineering core. On May 7th, after Boeing's first launch attempt was cancelled, Elon attacked Boeing on X for employing far too many non-technical managers. Understand, in 2014, NASA awarded SpaceX a contract worth $2.6 billion, while Boeing was awarded a contract of $4.2 billion. But SpaceX has beaten Boeing to the punch over the years. For instance, in 2020, SpaceX became the first private company to fly astronauts into space, ending a 9-year hiatus in U.S. human spaceflight. The SpaceX Dragon Crew spacecraft that accomplished this came from the same NASA initiative that flew Starliner to ISS. Not only did SpaceX do it faster, but its spacecraft was also cheaper, spending less than what Boeing had spent. However, since its first flight crew in 2020, the company has not flown 7 astronaut crews to and from the ISS for NASA, with its 8th living currently on the station, but has also flown 4 private missions. Maybe Musk is right about Boeing employing too many non-technical managers. A technical manager typically oversees the development, implementation, and maintenance of a company's tech systems and processes, including troubleshooting any issues that arise. Non-technical managers, on the other hand, tend to focus on broader aspects of a company, like strategic planning, communication, and decision-making. Furthermore, Musk also pointed out in 2022 that tech managers need to know their area of expertise, saying he strongly believes that all managers in the technical fields must be technically proficient. Software managers must write great software, or it's like being a cavalry captain who can't ride a horse. When you look at Elon Musk, he has definitely applied this core principle and value in building SpaceX's foundation. Do you know that every rocket concept started with him when it began to conceive in his mind? Fundamentally, he learned a lot about rocket design and astrodynamics from reading books. SpaceX's board of directors, although they're a mixed bag of talent from many different fields, also have working experience with Tesla Motors, PayPal, Netscape, and impulse space propulsion. Elon Musk, while working with them, is also soaking up a lot to perfect his knowledge. This is the core force driving SpaceX to become dominant in spaceflight currently. So what do you think? Do you agree with Elon Musk's perspective? By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please share, like, and subscribe. Your support inspires us to create more high-quality content. Now, let's get back to it. Recently, Boeing is not just facing significant challenges with its avionics department, but also its spacecraft project continues to encounter setbacks. From crisis to crisis, Boeing's leadership has been filled with individuals with little knowledge of rockets. Boeing used to be a company driven by engineers full of competency. Its legacy in space exploration dates back to the early days of America's ventures into space, with significant contributions to missions like Apollo and the International Space Station. But now it has become a sector with incompetent engineers who just speculate. Even the current CEO, Dave Calhoun, has no engineering background whatsoever, only a bachelor's degree in accounting from Virginia Tech University. Under his leadership, the system has fallen, and the true engineers were treated badly. As a result, Boeing has moved from being the gold standard of human spaceflight to being a tragically incompetent company. Despite Calhoun planning to step down this year-end, given his abysmal track record, several whistleblowers have accused Boeing of lacking safety standards. Musk is not the only one thinking Boeing needs new leadership with at least some engineering chops. Emirates President Tim Clark stated that to resolve Boeing's problems, the company needs a strong engineering lead at the helm, supported by a governance model that prioritizes safety and quality. Speaking of safety, when the FAA inspected Boeing's facility, they found one door being lubricated with Dawn dish soap, cleaned with wet cheesecloths, and another being checked using hotel room key cards. This negligence from Boeing in the commercial aviation sector, which accounts for a total of 44% of its revenue, raises serious questions. Can we expect better from their defense, space, and security sectors, which make up 32%? Are we sure that this secondary sector will be more focused on safety and quality? This raises more concern about Starliner's capability to bring astronauts home safely. Therefore, a rescue mission on a much more reliable vehicle like SpaceX Dragon or a Russian Soyuz capsule is very needed. Even before this successful launch, the development of Starliner has not been smooth. On its first flight in 2019, Starliner failed to reach its successful orbit due to an onboard clock that was set incorrectly, causing it to fire at the wrong time. Then in 2022, two Starliner thrusters failed to fire as expected. On May 6th, Williams and Wilmore were strapped when the mission engineer found out that the Starliner was leaking helium. After the successful liftoff on June 5th, astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams soared into space. Prior to docking with the ISS, 5 of 28 reaction control system thruster service modules shut down unexpectedly. After troubleshooting, the spacecraft docked successfully. However, NASA disclosed that they found 4 additional helium leaks on the spacecraft. The mission was supposed to last for 8 days, but the difficult problems on Starliner have left their return date still up in the air. And NASA is now furiously trying to help solve the problem. Many experts expect that Boeing rival SpaceX could serve as a lifeboat in this case, bringing them home aboard its Crew Dragon spaceship. According to NASA's internal schedule, Dragon Crew 9 will occur no earlier than August. It will dock at the space station for a brief handover with NASA's SpaceX Crew 8 mission. Specifically, Boeing stated that the astronauts are not stuck in space. Apparently, bringing SpaceX Crew Dragon for a rescue mission might serve as a severe blow to the bruised reputation of the firm. Boeing has spent about $1.5 billion in cost in running this project, beyond its initial $4.5 billion contract with NASA, in hopes of making Starliner a second option to reach the ISS. Ron Epstein, An analyst at the Bank of America suggests that if NASA demands extensive modifications to Starliner, Boeing might abandon the program. However, Nappy, a member of Boeing's management, insists that the company is fully committed to Starliner. He says that they are not backing out and this is their responsibility. And that's a wrap for today's episode. Thanks for watching and we can't wait to see you next time.